Welcome to Horror Face Off. I'm Jason and this is Leighanne.
On this Halloween episode of Horror Face Off, we have 1978's Halloween versus 2007's Trick or Treat.
We're ready for a haunted Halloween bloodbath. Who you picking?
Join us on a Horror Face Off.
Happy Halloween and welcome to Horror Face Off. This is a Halloween episode and we got two of probably the greatest Halloween time horror films featured here. Halloween versus Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, whatever. Anyways, we move on from that. So before we get going, I do have a couple of things to mention. We have our beautiful co-host Leighanne joining us now.
Hey guys.
And I love your outfit. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Kind
Gotta
of
stick with Trick or Treat.
Yep.
Gotta do the same.
It's awesome. Awesome. Love it. And also I want to thank Deadly Grounds for supercharging this episode with their awesome coffee. And
are you sure that's coffee in there though?
It's coffee. It's coffee for all you viewers out there. Yep. Actually, I just realized. So I have this is coffee, and I have a water mug too. Every episode I have two mugs, and I didn't really realize that this was Trick or Treat and Halloween. So just happened to be a big mug laying around. So I'd also like to thank my editor of this series, Tanya Gianelli, who really helps out with the show, makes us all look great. And with that, let's meet the panelists so we can get to the face-off. First, there's a lot of Ohio memes going around, but this man dispels the rumors because he is a rock star. He is Horror Face-Off's own Big John Stud. Welcome back, John.
Good to see everybody again.
Kings of Horror is one of the best YouTube horror channels out there with over 1 million, almost 1.5 million viewers. So this man knows what he's doing. Welcome back to the show, Patrick.
Hey, nice to be here.
Awesome. Well, he's the owner of Deadly Grounds in Canada, and he is our caffeinated dude, and he's back in season 3. Brad, welcome back.
Hey, it's nice to be back. I'm glad you had me back after the audio snafu from last time. It's a bit better today, right?
It's great audio right now. It's
perfect,
really
perfect.
Your voice is sending shivers down the spine here. And speaking of sending shivers down your spine, she's creepy, collected, chilling, and she's a cool cat. Welcome back to the show, Cat.
Hi.
How's it going?
Just hanging out. I missed it.
I know.
I missed last season. I was so sad.
I know. She got sick and missed a whole season. That's how fast we move here on this show. All right. And finally, I'm not too sure about this because it seems like there's some bias going on here because we have actually someone from the 1978 Halloween film. We have Ghost Bob joining the show. Welcome to the show, Ghost Bob. Oh. There we go. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, I'm a little bit relieved because I thought that would have been a little unfair, and I don't know how fair he would have been on the show. But
You said much.
no, I wouldn't. Probably not. But we have someone who will say a lot. She puts the "I'm gonna rape your soul" in Horror Face Off. Welcome back to the show, Mia.
Hey friends.
All right. So I'm just going to quickly go over this for the viewers for the first time that are joining us. We're going to go through all the categories of the horror face-off, plot, setting, film, etc. Each panelist is going to have 40 seconds to make their case and stake their claim. And after that, we're going to tabulate all the votes and we're going to come up with a winner. And we're ready to go. Are we ready to go, Leighanne?
We're ready.
Okay. So again, Leighanne is she's gonna yell kill. That's your cue to shut up. All right, but we're gonna be nice about it until then. So Halloween versus Trick or Treat. Here we go. We're gonna start off with John.
All right, so yeah, this was tough a little bit, but I picked Trick or Treat because it not only does it have multiple plots, I do enjoy every single one of those plots. I get the reason why Halloween has a very simple and basic plot, and the artistic purpose behind that. But if we're just talking about plot, I definitely think the interweaving stories of Trick or Treat are a much more compelling plot.
And okay, so there's a lesson to everybody on the panel for the first time. You don't have to go 40 seconds. You don't have to wait for Leighanne to snap at you. All right, cool. We're going to move on to Patrick.
All right. For this one, I'm gonna pick probably Trick or Treat as well. I too like the interconnecting stories. How what one scene, a shared scene, can be shown from two different perspectives and angles. It was, very Pulp Fiction esque, and I kind of like that approach to the anthology. Again, Halloween is a great, simple story. But I like the creativity, the plot of Trick or Treat a little bit more.
All right. Mia. Unfortunately, you don't get to take their extra time and put it onto yours, but when Leighanne starts you off, you're ready to go.
Let's go, Mia.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Trick or Treat for the plot. As Patrick said, it's very Pulp Fiction-esque. It's like the Halloween movie, with the Pulp Fiction theme, and Pulp Fiction's like my favorite movie, so I appreciated that a lot. And Halloween's very simple and basic, so kind of a little more interesting to watch Trick or Treat.
Wow, you guys got someplace to go tonight? All right, so so Brad and Kat do not feel that you have to, come in under the 40 mark. That didn't happen very much in the first episode. So you got the hang of it, though. We're gonna throw to you, Kat.
I'm gonna go with. Well, I recently watched Trick or Treat again, and I love the plot of that movie, but I'm still gonna go with Halloween, just because I think the simple plot it still does a lot for me. Like the babysitter, the slasher coming after her, like I still love it. And Trick or Treat, I feel like if I don't pay attention for too long, I'm gonna lose track of what happens. So I love the fact that Halloween does have a simple plot. So just in case I zone out or something, I can come right back into it and know what's happening.
Nice. All right, Brad, bringing up the end of the round.
Right. So, plot definitely for me it goes to Trick or Treat, and when I first saw that movie, there's not many anthology style movies that I really, really, really like, but that really drew me in. And what I love about Trick or Treat is, there's a lot of interwoven stories going on there, but I find to really appreciate Trick or Treat, I watched it literally 2 hours ago again, just to kind of refresh myself when I got home from work. And I see something new every time I watch it. So like the plot thickens every time I watch that movie, and it's great. Halloween's great, but the plot for me goes to Trick or Treat.
Kill. That was perfect timing.
Wow. He's got down to a science. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next category, and that would be setting. And for this one, we're gonna start off with Patrick.
Setting for this one for me has to go to Halloween. I think the effective use of a small town, suburban town setting is has more layers to it than much more wider spread settings of Trick or Treat. I mean, you have the woods in Trick or Treat, you have towns, you have a few different interior of houses. But to me, I think the film that captures that small town suburban life is Trick or Treat.
Okay, Mia, setting.
I'm also gonna. Well, you said Halloween, so I'm not gonna say I'm also gonna go with Trick or Treat, but I'm gonna go with Trick or Treat because I'm a sucker for over the top, really fun set designs, and I feel like in Trick or Treat, you're really in the pinnacle of a Halloween town with the costumes and the parade and everything like that. Just really sets the mood and makes you really feel like it's Halloween night in this small town in Ohio. So I'm gonna go with Trick or Treat because it's really fun to look at.
Are you getting bored, Leighanne?
Yeah. I don't have anything to say.
You haven't killed one person yet.
No killing.
All right. Okay. Let's try and kill Brad.
I like Mia. I actually love the set of or the setting of Trick or Treat. I really do. But Halloween for me, the opening walking scene, like coming from the school. I don't know about you, but I feel that chill in the air when I watch that. And to me, it's the start to fall for me when I watch Halloween. I always watch it the first few days of October, sometimes in September, to be honest. And I just love from there on. The rest of the movie just draws me in. I love the setting of Haddonfield.
All right. Cat.
I think I'm gonna go with Trick or Treat on this one because I love there's so many jack-o'-lanterns in that movie, and I just love the whole vibe that they bring. They're so bright, but it also gives me the feeling of like trick or treating as a kid. Like you see all the little kids in their costumes, and it's just cold outside, and you can tell, and there's decorations everywhere, and there's parades going on. Like it just reminds me of being a kid. And I don't think Halloween quite achieved that for me. So there's like a little bit of nostalgia for Trick or Treat.
All right. John, let's go
Yeah,
for it.
so I'm looking at my card here. I've changed this answer 3 times. But I'm going to go with Halloween. I definitely think it just feels like a real sort of small town America place. This could happen anywhere kind of vibe. It definitely feels like a real Halloween. I think Trick or Treat sometimes feels a little over decorated and feels a little bit like a set sometimes instead of feeling like a real place. And Halloween to me, like I think everybody feels like they live in that neighborhood somewhere.
Nice job. Nice divided category. That's what we want. All right, so we move on to filmmaking, and for this one, we'll start off with Kat.
I'm gonna go with Trick or Treat on this one. There's so many complexities to that movie. There's so many different sets, different scenarios that just a lot goes into it. There's so much detail for like from down in the quarry with the school bus to wherever the like festival is going on to the woods. I just think that there's so many details, and every time I watch it, I find more little details involved, like when they go into houses and things like that. They didn't miss a beat, and I think that draws me to Trick or Treat for this category.
We must have been close to a kill there.
It was 39.48.
Five. Get you next time. All right. Okay. We're gonna go with Patrick on this now.
All right. I had to give this to Halloween. I mean, just for the simple fact that if you count, the intro opening sequence, that's, obviously that's such an iconic intro title sequence. There's just a lot more memorable sequences in that film. They're set up. I mean, the shot of Michael coming, rising up from the bedroom to the, shot of the yard outside. I mean, so many just iconic sequences and shots. Whereas Trick or Treat has some, but I think Halloween just blows it out of the water in that regard.
All right, John.
Yeah, I'm going to go Halloween on this one also. Trick or Treat's very well made, but Halloween is like made in a way that's like historically relevant and kind of changed the way movies were made, the way it was directed. I know we don't have a spot for this, but I'm kind of throwing music in here too, the way the filmmakers used music at Halloween. Trick or Treat has a great score, but again, it's not like changing the way the story's told so much. So I think for all the innovations and the way horror fans and the horror creators just took everything from Halloween, it definitely has the edge here over Trick or Treat.
Mia.
Okay, I hadn't had my mind made up till I listened to everybody, but I'm going to go with Halloween because I do feel like Trick or Treat is emulating more something that kind of already happened with Pulp Fiction, whereas I think John Carpenter really kind of invented something whenever he made Halloween. We had some things like Black Christmas and things like that, but like really like the POV stuff and everything like that was just genius. And I think it really clearly tells the story, and iconic music. It really doesn't get more memorable than that. And that's part of this category for me anyway. So I'm for sure going to go with Halloween.
All right, Brad.
Yeah, like a couple of the other panelists there, I agree that it's it's actually very hard to rate these two for me because they're so different. And I've gone back and forth a couple of times now too. And I think in the end, I'm going to go with Trick or Treat. Just again, going back to one of my points earlier about how they really did a great job of presenting the interwoven stories. So for me, like I said, it's hard to get me to like those types, but the way they did it, I just really loved it, and I think it really brought. I'm kind of a new modern Halloween classic to watch every year.
Awesome. All right. So that ends filmmaking. We're I think we all caught on to the new format. Okay, so we're on to characters, but before we start off, I see a few people drinking. So Brett, you're actually in the middle of a gulp. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking. I've never had this before. It's from a company called Whitewater Brewing Company, and it's a pumpkin spice espresso porter, and it is delicious.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll
really.
take your word for that. But all right, and Mia, I know you've got something there. I'll let you take the floor.
This is my cotton candy, candy corn. I haven't even had any of this yet, and I'm already talking with them. It's wrong. Candy corn cocktail, and it's super cute. And I'm gonna do a reel on how you can make it, so you can make one.
Awesome. Is it good?
So good. I didn't think it would be because when I was like looking up the recipe, it had like sours and pineapple juice, and I was like, this is gonna be ridiculous. But do it for the gram, right? Do it for the podcast. And then I tried it, and I was like, this is really good.
So you lied. You said you haven't tried it yet. You have.
I had some in the shaker. You have to shake it up.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
With the grenadine, I haven't drank out of this thing yet. But
all right. Well, go. We're watching.
Now I'm on the spot.
I know.
Aesthetically, it's gorgeous, though.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll start off with you with characters then before you get sloshed. You're up.
Okay. Characters. I really don't know, so I'm going to talk this out for my whole remaining probably 35 seconds. I just feel like iconicness, I think of that word when I have to try to pick a category. I think Michael and Laurie have stood the test of time. You constantly want to watch them. Sam is a really fun character, and a lot of those characters in Trick or Treat are very fun, like Sarah and things like that. But dude, Michael has my heart, so I feel like I have to pick him and go with Halloween.
All right. Well, keep in mind there's antagonist at the end, so if you want to,
but like I just think of him when I think of characters, and Laurie, and like I really love like Tommy and Lindsay and stuff like that too. So I'm gonna shut up. But Halloween.
Did you get an answer out of that? Sorry, you did, right? You picked Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. No, I wasn't being facetious there. All right, John, you're up.
This one I kind of went back and forth on too. I am picking Trick or Treat. I think they were kind of a breath of fresh air and kind of what this kind of movie could be. And there's so many characters, whereas Halloween has that core group of characters. Of course, they're iconic. But there's nothing especially unique about them other than I think the charisma the actors brought to them. But I think there's a lot of interesting character dynamics and twists and turns in the way the characters act and exist in Trick or Treat that kind of gives it a little bit of an edge for me.
All right. Okay, Patrick, I feel like I haven't heard from you in a while. So,
no.
All right.
Yeah, this one I got to go with probably. Oh man, it's hard. I'll say Trick or Treat. Just because I feel like you do, like John said, you have some really fresh new characters, whereas you have a few memorable ones, but you have just as many ones that are kind of you forget about them, like Paul.
Yeah. Bob. Paul. Yeah, Paul.
Bob.
Paul. Bob. Yeah.
And and you have a lot of characters in Trick or Treat have lots of layers and depth to them that you explore through a lot of the backstories and everything like that. So I think Trick or Treat has a good solid group.
Finally get a kill in.
You finally got a kill in. Okay. All right. So we got the final answer from Mia?
Yeah. Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. All right. Okay. Pat.
I feel like I'm going to have to go. I want to go with Halloween just because I love Halloween, but I'm going to go with Trick or Treat on this one just because there's so many characters to this story and they each have their own story to them. There's just so much depth in, I feel like, kind of their quick scenes that they have as they interconnect each other. There's so much depth to the characters still. And I feel like that's just it really draws you into the movie. So I'm going to go with Trick or Treat.
All right. Caffeinated dude. You're up.
So I was really torn. Sorry, I wasn't torn. I really had my answer, and then everyone else spoke, and I thought, oh, that's a really good point. Because the trick or treat stuff is true. Like, there's a lot brought to the table that we hadn't seen in a long time, in a really good Halloween / horror movie. So I appreciate that. But as far as iconic characters, it has to go to Halloween, because when I watched Trick or Treat again today, as much as I like how they all are, I didn't really remember any of them until I watched it again. I remember Charlie and I remembered Steven, but that was it. But you never forget the characters from Halloween. Bob and Laurie and Michael. So yeah, it goes to Halloween for me.
Awesome. Well, I guess part of that is because the movie's like 50 years old, but good points.
Yeah.
So it's funny listening to you guys talk. So Leighanne, I'm going to ask you too, because we're not voting, and I'm kind of happy because like I am like, listening to you, I realize how difficult it is to match these two against each other, because they are very different in so many ways. And I don't envy you all voting. What about you, Leighanne? Are you like listening and you're like able to easily identify who you'd vote for?
No, not at all. And like everybody brings up such good points, and I'm like, I'm switching back and forth in my brain, thinking like, oh well, maybe.
Yeah.
And I've got a little bit of bias towards one movie, but still, at the end of the day, it's
And it is funny, and I've noticed that with this show is that like, you can have a 30-year-old opinion about a movie, and then you get on this show and then people start talking and you're like, that's a good point. And it's like, it's not easy to change an age-old opinion supplanted in your brain, but sometimes it happens. It's pretty cool. All right, let's go on to the kills. And for this, we're going to start off with Kat.
The kills. Oh man. I'm going to go with Trick or Treat for this one, because I think the kills are so fun in that movie, and some of them are really unexpected. And when you watch them, it's got such a good entertainment factor to it that, yeah, it's not your typical slasher movie, but it's not your typical slasher movie. And I think that's what makes it a lot of fun.
Awesome. Patrick.
This one I got to go with Halloween. Trick or Treat has a lot of more jump scare moments than Halloween, but I feel like Halloween, its kill scenes have a lot more creepiness factor to them. Like when Michael comes up in the backseat of the car, obviously the knife through the torso into the door with him, nodding and looking is a creepy scene that sticks with people 45 years later. So I think Trick or Treat has a lot more jump scares when it comes to its kills, but to me, it goes to Halloween for the creepiness factor.
Yeah.
You knew he was ending. You didn't have to yell kill, but you still wanted.
I didn't need you saying it's got to be close.
I'm joking. I'm messing with you. She's hardcore. She looks like the sweet one in the corner. Trust me. She's the one that you got to watch out for. All right, John, you're up.
Yeah, this is one other one that I'm kind of changing mid conversation. I had Trick or Treat because they are splashier and kind of more elaborately choreographed and more FX driven. But those kills in Halloween have terrorized people for 45 years, or however long it is. Those kills are historically scary and have just like ruined people's lives. And the kills in Trick or Treat are cool, but I don't think they're genuinely frightening in that same way.
So you're going with Halloween. All right, Brad.
So I like the kills in Halloween. It's hard not to. I mean, especially all of them. But I mean, the iconic Bob kill. I mean, it's great. But Trick or Treat. The cool thing about Trick or Treat was the kills are great. I mean, today again watching Charlie die, I was like, oh my god, like it's the sounds and everything that went along with it. But there's also this strange little bit of satisfaction to the kills, or a lot of the kills anyway, in Trick or Treat. Like, you kind of wanted Charlie to die, that little shit. Like, I didn't like that guy. I want him to die. And it was cool to watch him die, kind of. But, I mean, we wanted to see Steven die. We wanted to see Mr. Krieg die. So there's they're great kills, and you're not so sad that they died. I like that.
Great perspectives. Wow. All right, Mia.
Okay. I'm totally going with Trick or Treat because I think for kills, I want something a little bit more splashier. I don't necessarily want like strangulations and things like that. Yes, they're terrifying. They've haunted my dreams, but I just think there was a lot more that they did with Trick or Treat, like the werewolves, and that was awesome. And then even like the kids on the school bus, like that's a kill, you know, and that like made you feel something different. And there was a lot of just different ways they did it. Sam is just crazy with his lollipop. I think that's genius in itself. And so I think there was just more depth to the kills in Trick or Treat, which is why I'm picking that movie.
All right. Well, that I gotta say that was probably a genius round from this panel. You guys brought up like really, really alternative thought processes that could go into making that answer. All of you. So that was really, really good. I just picture Brad though, like cheering when the bus of kids like goes
So
over.
I didn't want to interrupt. But I wanted to get this in. That was sad. I didn't want the kids to die, but the other ones, the kids know.
That's stricken from the record. That's
Please.
past his allotted time. So we're not going to allow that. All right. Okay. So we are moving on to scare factor. And for this, we're going to start off with Brad.
Scare factor, definitely Halloween. I mean, the kills are great in Trick or Treat, but Trick or Treat wasn't scary. I mean, it was fun. It was a fun movie. As far as something that sticks with you and scares you, Halloween, 100%. I mean, like you said, I think everyone here has said at least once so far that it's haunted our dreams, right? And it's true. And it does to this day when you watch it at a certain point in time, or you know, when the mood strikes and you go to bed thinking about it. Trick or Treat doesn't have that same effect. It's a fun, great movie, but not overly scary, I don't think.
Okay, Mia, scare factor.
Okay. Trick or Treat is fun, but you feel safe while you're still watching it because a lot of it is far-fetched. And that's what makes it a fun movie to watch and a Halloween classic to watch. But scare factor, what John was saying about Halloween with the kills is how I feel about Halloween and the scare factor. It's ruined my life. I literally had nightmares about Michael Myers last night. I have nightmares about two things. To this day, 27 years old, Michael Myers and snakes. I was traumatized by it by a kid, couldn't hear the music. And it's petrified. I still watch it to this day, and I'm like, ugh, when he's walking towards Lori, like across the street from the house, I'm like, fuck no. So Halloween, 110% for scare factor. Very passionate about that one.
All right, yes, you can tell. That's awesome. All right, John.
Yeah, to me, this one was such a slam dunk for Halloween. I first saw Halloween when I was 6 because my parents did a great job. And we lived kind of in the woods, and I can remember just sprinting home and vowing to not look over my shoulder because I was certain Michael Myers was right behind me. Trick or Treat's amazing, but it's not that kind of movie that ruined my childhood or I don't think ruined anyone's childhood. Halloween just kind of changed the game in terms of scaring the crap out of people.
I like the love that a film gets for ruining your childhoods. All right, Patrick.
I mean, yeah, I gotta go with Halloween as well. Just like everyone else here, it said, you know, it brings the creepiness factor. You know, some of those scenes, him walking across the street, the patience in the rain when Loomis goes to the Smith Grove, the music is all super effective. The pacing, it all just, I think, it builds up until it's a nice slow escalation up. Whereas Trick or Treat is, like everyone has said, fun, but it's not really going to scare you. Not really going to stick with you in that regard.
Awesome. Okay, so Kat, everybody has said Halloween. Now, I don't want you to feel pressured if you feel differently to say Trick or Treat, but you bring in the last vote.
It's definitely Halloween. So Halloween, like, it gets into your brain so bad. So it didn't just like ruin my childhood, but even as an adult, I'll look out the window sometimes at night and I'm like, this is it. He's going to be there across the street. I'm going to see him. You know, you just kind of expect him to be lurking around every corner, and Trick or Treat doesn't really do that. It doesn't invade your brain the same way that Halloween does. There's just no way. Halloween is definitely, it gives you the creep factor that you just kind of love.
Nice. All right. Okay. So we're moving on to antagonists. And this one's a little bit trickier with Trick or Treat. Obviously, you can interpret your own antagonist or however you feel. But we'll start with this one with John.
again, this feels like another slam dunk for Halloween for me. Michael Myers is the face of slashers. He's the face of the holiday in terms of scaring people. I was trying to think of ways to make trick or treats. Kind of Halloween itself is kind of the antagonist in Trick or Treat, and all kind of the urban legends, and that's all cool. But again, Michael Myers terrorizes people in ways that very few characters ever have. So it's still got to be Halloween.
Hey, Brad.
I think if you pose this question to a lot of people, they would immediately just compare Michael to Sam, and I think that's the general face off of that. But I think the issue with that is Sam, to me, is not a horror icon. Maybe people would argue that. I mean, he's definitely out there, now in popular culture. He's all over the place. But to me, he's like Michael is a horror icon, and he's one of the OG antagonists. And Sam will never be that. So it's going to Michael. Halloween.
Wow, he shot some bullets across the bow there for some Sam lovers out there.
I love Sam. I mean, you've been to my cafe. There's Sam stuff everywhere. We love that guy, but it's not Michael.
Got it. All right, Mia.
Yeah, like going back and forth in my head, like who's the antagonist in Trick or Treat? Is it Halloween? Is it Sam? Is it the shitty ass kids that play the prank on that poor girl? It's all of them, really. It's the werewolves, it's everybody. But even when you stack all of them up, I still don't think it compares to, like, Michael's referred to as like the shape. Like, he's not even like Michael anymore. He's a force to be fucking reckoned with. And I love the way that John kind of wrapped it up. Like, there's like nothing more iconic in like antagonist history of horror than Michael. He's one of the OGs, so for sure. Halloween.
All right, Kat.
I'm gonna go with Michael because he is iconic. When you think of like the classic horror icons, Michael Myers is always there every single time. He always makes the cut. Anyone who has seen the movies or not usually recognizes him. And there's a lot of antagonists in Trick or Treat, and for the most part, they just piss me off in a way that like makes me not care when they die. But I love Michael Myers, so since I have that love for him and he scares the shit out of me, we'll go with him.
Okay. All right, and we'll end this round with Patrick.
I mean, let's just give Halloween the clean sweep here, and because that's the obvious answer. Repeat what everyone else said. I mean, he's iconic. The mask is iconic. And it's, like everyone said, saying you can argue that Sam's the antagonist in Trick or Treat, but he's fun. Just like we talked about with the kills and scare factor, he's more of a fun antagonist of the film. And Michael is, you don't even know why he's killing in the first place in the first movie. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's Michael and Halloween. So.
All right. Okay, so Halloween's making up some ground in these last couple of rounds. All right, so we're going to go with the poster for both. And again, I stress that we are talking the original posters. If you haven't had a chance to look them up, now do it discreetly on your phone. And for this, we are going to start with, I'm just trying to decide who's not looking at their phone right now. We're going to go to Patrick. We're going to start off with Patrick.
This one I gotta go Halloween. It's such an iconic poster. The hand of the knife and the pumpkin, using the traditional Halloween colors of orange and black. The font is very, very simple and simplistic, but it's effective. The tagline that he comes home is iconic in and of itself, and it's been played on for many sequels. So it's just such an iconic one, and Trick or Treat is good too, but it's nothing. It's not going to stand up to Halloween at all. I mean, it too uses oranges and
Killed.
stuff, so.
All right, cool. A point made. All right, Mia.
Okay. I like to, when I weigh these options, I like to think how good of a job did they do kind of portraying the movie and getting you to want to watch it. And I think honestly both of these did a really good job evenly to that. So then it weighs in my opinion, which one do I like more? And I think I'd be stupid not to pick Halloween considering I have it literally tattooed on my arm. So I'm going to go with Halloween, the blank space, the font, It looks very classic. It never, like, it feels 70s to me because I'm a huge 70s nerd, but it also looks kind of timeless and classic. Trick or Treat's fun, but Halloween kind of beats it out, just in my own opinion.
John.
I love everything about the Halloween poster. I agree with everybody, but I'm going to pick the Trick or Treat poster purely because that was the one I got to see in the video store, and the poster caught my eye and drew me in and made me want to get that movie. Like, by the time I saw the Halloween poster, I already knew everything about Halloween, so maybe that's unfair. But the Trick or Treat poster was the one time as an adult where I got to be excited about something just based on the picture on the front of the box and the poster on the wall. And it was all in all the Halloween theming. I just had to watch that movie immediately. So for that experience, I'm going to give Trick or Treat the nod.
All right, caffeinated dude, you're up.
Halloween. But Trick or Treat, I just took a quick look at it again, and as soon as I saw it again, like, oh yeah, this. Trick or Treat looks like the box of every late 90s, early 2000s teen horror movie. It's got the characters around there, the main guys in the middle, or whatever's going on. It's like it's been done a million times. There was no originality to it. It's just, yes, it brought me in. I mean, that's how I discovered it too, like John said. But I mean, it's a Photoshop job. That's really what it is. Whereas something like Halloween is an iconic movie poster that stood the test of time. I knew that one, but I didn't even have to look that one up,
Yeah.
right, obviously. Halloween.
All right. Okay, cool. And Kat.
Okay. First off, I just looked up the Trick or Treat one too, and I love jack-o'-lanterns. So I just love that both of them have like jack-o'-lanterns on the cover. But I feel like Halloween is a little bit better because it's so simplistic, but it's so hard to forget. Like, you just remember that poster forever. Whereas I just watched Trick or Treat like yesterday, and I already forgot what the poster looks like, and I had to look it up again. But like, I feel like Halloween, I've never had to do that. It's just been burned into my brain forever.
Good point. All right. So it brings us up to the final category of the evening, and that is the ending of the film. I've said this before, and I just want to, the ending of a film doesn't need to be the last, 2 minutes of a film. It could be the sequences that have been set up earlier in the film, and then they play out. So the ending can go back a little bit further, if need be. I just figured I'd stress that just in case. But for this, we are going to start off with Patrick.
Ending, I say, it has to go to Halloween. I mean, the sequence once Michael gets into the house of the crochet pin needle, the closet scene, the rising up, being shot 6 times, the mystery of being left. At the end there, with Michael's body being gone, and that distraught look on his face just leaves you feeling just like a little bit like just grimy for some reason, and not knowing what, and you hear the breathing, and it's just super effective and leaves you wanting more from the get-go. Trick or Treat is, I mean, the way each story ends is they're good.
All right. So we got Halloween, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go to Brad.
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength as Patrick on this one. I often, when I watch movies, especially when they're older than me, I often think about what it would have been like in the theater. And if I had seen Halloween in the theater with a couple of friends, I think at the end of that, I would have been like, what the fuck? Like, how did that all come to this? And, you just, can we see the next one? Because there's going to be another one, right? That's how I felt. Trick or Treat, I liked it too. But I mean, again, it was kind of generic. It just kind of was there. Like, I don't know. I want more. I'd love to see Trick or Treat 2, which has been talked about forever, but of course it's in purgatory. But
okay, so the ending, we've killed 2 people in the ending. All right, this is really a climactic conclusion to this show. All right, let's see if we can kill Kat. No
I'm
offense,
gonna go with Halloween. Halloween, the end of it it left me wanting more. Before I had seen any of the other Halloween movies, I wanted to know what happened next, because you have that obvious, like, the story continues ending. So Halloween got me excited and a bit stressed out for what's going to happen next. Whereas I feel like with Trick or Treat, it was, closure. I can turn the movie off. I can go to bed kind of ending. Like that's just the end of the movie. Whereas Halloween, I was like, all right, where's the second one? Let's watch it. So yeah, Halloween.
All right, we didn't get to kill Kat.
Okay.
She's a final girl. All right, okay, so we're gonna go to John.
Yeah, so I love the Trick or Treat has basically an epilogue where after the movie ends, you have that kind of parade through the city where you kind of see everybody again at the beginning of the night. I love that. I think it's one of the coolest things to watch. We get to see all those characters again, and they're happy and they don't know what's coming. But come on, Halloween is the greatest ending in arguably in film history. That open door ending has haunted people then. It still haunts people now. We're talking about probably one of the one or two greatest endings of any horror movie of all time.
Wow, that's a statement. It's a mic drop. All right. Okay, I should have picked you last. All right, Mia, you're up.
Yeah, Trick or Treat, I felt the ending kind of kept me at the same suspense as the whole rest of the movie did. Because things just keep evolving, and I think it does a good job at wrapping itself up in a nice little bow and saying, here's the beginning of the movie as the end, which is nice and I appreciate. But Halloween, echoing what everybody else said, iconic. When he's walking across the street and then getting into the house, and then the kids are they're running out of the house screaming. But whenever you look out and he's on the ground, I watched this for the first time at a babysitter's house when I was 8 years old, okay? And then they show back and he's gone. I was like, he's in this house right now. He's here,
You know what was awesome about that? I knew she was going to get killed in this. I knew she was. I saw you were going on, and I'm like, oh, thank God, we're going to kill Mia at the end. Yeah, that was awesome. So well done. We're going to give Leighanne a second to tabulate the votes.
I got it ready.
Okay, well, for showmanship, we're trying to stall here a little bit. Okay, you're ready, which is good. I will say this. One thing that I thought you all brought up, like really, really good points, really strong counterpoints and stuff. One thing I'm a little bit upset is that in the character section, none of you mentioned Sam Loomis, Donald Pleasance. I'm a little upset about that one. But other than that, I thought you guys all did an awesome job. And apparently we have a winner. So, Leighanne?
Well, it's funny. I noticed too, a lot of you guys said, like, oh, I rewatched Trick or Treat to get an idea, but I didn't hear any of you say I had to rewatch Halloween. So it really must have just stuck with you so much more. I will say that Trick or Treat started off really strong, but Michael killed it with 15 to 30 difference.
Really?
It was a huge difference.
Wow. Yeah, because Trick or Treat did start strong. So the winner is
Michael Myers with Halloween.
Well, there you have it. So Halloween wins the Halloween episode, and I'm not gonna say I'm totally surprised, but a little bit, because I know Trick or Treat over the years has really gained a lot of fandom. And congratulations to Halloween, which avenges its horror face-off loss in season 1. It got thrashed by The Thing. So Halloween is in the win category for the first time. I'd like to thank all the panelists, all the drinks they made, and all the points they conjured up to make this an awesome Halloween episode. I'd like to thank my co-host, Leighanne. Inner Sam.
Thank you.
So now wait, you're dressed as Sam, I'm assuming, is that where your heart is?
I mean, I haven't tattooed on my leg. I've got memorabilia all over, so yeah, there's a little bit of a bias there.
Gotcha. All right, well, anyways, thanks, Leighanne, for keeping time. And for everybody else for watching the show, thank you very much. It's been fun. Have a good and safe Halloween, and we'll see you on the next episode of Horror Face Off.